Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, today we have a truly fascinating automotive case study to unpack. We are going to objectively break down the newly resurrected Ford Capri EV. Our goal? To see if its modern execution and technical specs actually justify pinning a legendary, historic nameplate onto a brand new, all-electric family crossover. Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a serious, data-driven roadmap to get through today. We'll hit the strategic revival, powertrain metrics, battery range and charging, cabin architecture, safety tech, and we'll wrap it up with our competitive market verdict.
Section 1, the strategic Capri revival. We're looking at resurrecting a legend for the electric era.
So it has been a massive 38-year gap since the classic Capri was discontinued back in 1986. And actually, underneath it all, this new Cologne-built crossover utilizes Volkswagen's MEB platform as its foundation. But look at the stark demographic shift here. On the one hand, you've got the 1970s classic, a low-slung, two-door sports coupe, literally the car for the gritty Bodie and Doyle rebel types. Then, on the other, the new 2026 Capri EV. It's a high-riding, five-door crossover aimed squarely at the tech-focused premium professional, think solicitors and accountants. So why reuse the name if the audience is completely different? Well, honestly, it's a highly pragmatic trademark shortcut. Most modern consumers don't really have a functional memory of the 70s model, so resurrecting the Capri name allows Ford to bypass the incredibly costly and lengthy process of creating a brand new global identity while still retaining a strong emotive hook.
But hey, they haven't entirely abandoned the past. The visual DNA has evolved specifically to bridge the 1970s and the 2020s. Ford translated that classic heritage into a really slinky fastback roofline, especially when you compare it to its boxier sibling, the Ford Explorer EV. And check out the lighting. They've implemented a digital quad-element LED signature. It's basically a direct, modernized translation of those classic twin-lens headlamps, just brought into the electric age.
Section 2, Powertrain and Performance Metrics. Delivering the raw numbers and driving dynamics.
Let's transition into the mechanical breakdown. Visuals are great, sure, but for a vehicle carrying a sporty heritage badge, we absolutely have to look at the hard facts of the propulsion system to see what it's actually bringing to the tarmac. Looking at this data, you can see how Ford structures the lineup to capture both efficiency seekers and performance enthusiasts. You've got the entry-level 52 kilowatt-hour setup, but check out that bottom row. The all-wheel drive premium variant rocks a 79 kilowatt-hour battery, pushing 340 PS and a massive 679 newton-meters of immediate torque. That gets you from 0 to 100 in just 5.3 seconds. This specific configuration is vital because it elevates the Capri way above standard utilitarian transport, putting it right up there with the sportier end of the EV segment.
And it's not just about straight-line speed. Top Gear actually noted in their review that the vehicle operates with, quote, smooth, damped precision. To pull that off, Ford engineered selectable drive modes and specifically tuned the dampers to mitigate the heavy mass of the battery pack. It basically ensures that the sporty branding isn't an empty promise. It's backed up by what reviewers are calling some of the best-in-class driving dynamics and steering feel among its direct platform rivals.
Section 3, Battery Range and Charging. We're talking efficiency, range limits, and rapid recovery.
Let's move on to the range-to-charge ratio. For European consumers looking to replace their primary internal combustion vehicle, this ratio is the ultimate litmus test for long-distance competitive viability. And if you're worried about range anxiety, well, this data should definitely put you at ease. The rear-wheel drive extended range model delivers a segment-leading 627 kilometers. That's 390 miles of WLTP range. Even if you go for the heavier, performance-oriented all-wheel drive model, you are still looking at an incredibly competitive 592 kilometers. It makes the Capri a highly viable option for transcontinental travel.
But look, efficiency is absolutely nothing without rapid recovery, right? The AWD model's 79 kilowatt-hour battery utilizes a 185 kilowatt DC fast charging rate, which lets you go from a 10 to 80% charge in just 26 minutes. The so what here is pretty crucial. These charging speeds mean significantly shorter, much more predictable stops at highway chargers for the performance-focused driver. You plug in, go grab a coffee, and boom, you are back on the road.
To guarantee those fast charging times, Ford includes a cloud-enhanced EV trip planner. And this isn't just your standard map. This software-defined system integrates live traffic data, but more importantly, it automatically preconditions the lithium-ion battery. By adjusting the battery's temperature to the absolute optimal sweet spot before you even pull up to the DC fast charger, it ensures you get maximum kilowatt intake speeds immediately, entirely mitigating the usual pain points of charging latency. Section 4, Cabin Utility and Architecture, looking at the physical footprint and spatial engineering.
Having great range is fantastic, sure, but a crossover really lives and dies by its physical dimensions and spatial utility. And I was genuinely surprised by this. 627 liters. That is the impressive cargo capacity of the new Capri when loaded to the roof. Crucially, for family buyers eyeing that sloping, sporty roofline, this actually provides roughly 100 liters more boot space than the Ford Explorer EV when measured to the seat back height. It's a massive spatial engineering win that proves you absolutely don't have to sacrifice cargo space for a sleeker silhouette.
And that clever engineering continues right inside the cabin with some highly human-centric solutions. You've got a 14.6-inch adjustable sync-move touchscreen, which actually physically slides up to reveal My Private Locker, basically a concealed security vault for your valuables. Plus, the flat floor architecture makes room for a massive 17-liter MegaConsole under the armrest. It's literally big enough to swallow a laptop bag. And then there's what we call the headroom paradox. Counterintuitively, if you spec the Capri with a panoramic glass roof, it actually offers slightly more rear headroom than the upright Explorer. Pretty brilliant, right?
Section 5. Advanced Safety and Technology. Digital shields and comprehensive driver assistance. Let's pivot to the Safety and Tech suite. Underneath that stylish exterior, the Capri uses high-strength boron steel reinforcements designed to protect both the occupants and the high-voltage battery casing during a collision. But the active safety tech? Just as impressive. Take the reversing assist feature. Imagine you drive down a narrow European lane and realize, uh-oh, I can't turn around here. Well, step 1, the vehicle has already been recording your forward path for the last 50 meters, assuming you were going under 35 kilometers per hour. Step 2, you simply engage reverse. And step 3, the Capri autonomously takes over the steering wheel to thread you perfectly back out the exact way you came while you just manage the speed. It's a massive, massive practical utility. Beyond reversing assist, the driver assistance pack includes assisted lane change, which is active over 90 kilometers per hour, active park assist, a head-up display, and a 360-degree camera system powered by 5 cameras and 12 ultrasonic sensors. Honestly, when you put all this together, this tech value proposition genuinely rivals established systems like Tesla's autopilot when it comes to real-world, everyday European driving scenarios. Finally, Section 6, the competitive market verdict, evaluating the cost and standing in the EV landscape. So, the Capri EV enters the European market priced somewhere between £36,920 and £56,175 British pounds. With that context, let's see how it actually stacks up against the heavyweights in its class. Against its platform mate, the VW ID.5, the Capri holds a distinct advantage with superior sync-move interface logic and creative storage solutions. It just feels far more like a premium product than utilitarian transport. And against heavy hitters like the Tesla Model Y and Kia EV6, which might offer slightly faster peak charging or established EV branding, the Capri counters hard with a superior 390-mile WLTP range and a deeply human-centric interior.
So, as an analyst, we have to ask the critical question here. The Capri costs roughly a £2,000 premium over its stablemate, the Ford Explorer. Is the sleeker, fastback silhouette and that 100-liter cargo advantage actually worth the extra cash? Well, for the style-conscious family buyer who wants a fully resolved, highly capable one-car solution, the answer is very likely yes.
So the absolutely crucial point is this. The Ford Capri EV does not lean lazily on pure retro nostalgia. It actively justifies its historic moniker through superior modern execution, class-leading storage, and genuinely robust performance metrics. Even though it shares the MEB platform with Volkswagen, Ford successfully reclaimed the vehicle's unique identity through proprietary software and brilliant spatial engineering. By balancing the badge of a legend with the daily utility needed by modern drivers, the Ford Capri EV really emerges as a highly functional, stylish electric crossover. It's perfectly tailored for the premium professional segment and stands as one of the most strategically sound entries in the European EV landscape today.
I want to sincerely thank you for joining our explainer today. We love digging into the data to understand the real story behind these vehicles. I want to leave you with a provocative thought, though. As the EV market continues to mature and platforms become increasingly shared, what other legendary classic car nameplates do you think will find a second life in the electric era? Let us know. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.